morning, everybody. We are going to take a day off from our intro to networking lessons, and instead, today we're going to look into a useful tool for Windows called Power Rename, which is a part of something called Microsoft PowerToys. Okay, don't go running or anything. This isn't some sketchy free app. Well, it is free, but it's also not any sponsored content or anything. Windows PowerToys or Microsoft PowerToys has been around since 1996 and was originally released for Win95. As I understand it, it was effectively a bunch of tools that the internal developers liked, but weren't pushed into the mainline program, and instead they got permission to release them out. Initially as freeware, and since then moved into full open source, at least, so far. And this utility, Power Rename, that we're focusing on today is really cool because what it lets you do is you can point it at some folder and go through and bulk rename everything. Maybe you got a weird bunch of numbers at the beginning. Maybe you got an M dash instead of an N dash or something else that you need to fix on a whole bunch of files so that you can feed them to your application so that they make more sense to you or whatever. Well, let's get to it. Do 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 diddly do 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 diddly do 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 diddly do 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 do. Okay, let's get into it. So here's the plan. We are going to go download Microsoft PowerToys, install it, and do a batch rename on a handful of files I went and found of mine. I'll talk about it when we get there, just as an example. So, Tiny Brian. There we go. And here we go. I've got a Windows 11 VM here set up. It could certainly be a whole computer and everything. I just wanted a fresh little install that didn't have anything else going on it that we could use as a little bit of a playground. And, I've already gone here. Hang on. No one noticed. Hidden back. There we go. First thing you're going to do is, drop Microsoft PowerToys into the search engine of your choice. And very likely your top couple of hits are going to look about the same as mine, maybe after the AI results. First one here is Microsoft PowerToys documentation, basically. And the second one is a GitHub page. So for the learning page, you just want to go click on this to show you real quick, right? Microsoft PowerToys, and runs through here a list of quite a few of the utilities, well, all of the utilities that you're going to be able to see. And Control F, rename. Hey, there we go. Power Rename. Ooh. And this is just the documentation of the actual thing, of course. Just showing the utility that we're going to be taking a look at here, right? So I'll drop a link to this into the description. All right, going to hit back a couple of times and head on down to that GitHub page. Notice it's Microsoft's account, right? So, okay, feeling pretty safe there. But then subset in there, PowerToys. Come on down here. And here's our resources. What you're looking for if you're on an x86 system is going to be the per user x64 or the machine-wide x64, almost certainly. Really, this just comes down to your system and what you have rights to. Maybe you do have some limited rights to like your work computer or something, but only for your user account, per user. Maybe you're doing this on your personal system. Maybe just machine-wide. I don't know if you got multiple people logging in or not. Okay, that's the one I'm going to go for. As of today, recording anyway, 0960 is the latest. Let's grab that. Download's good. And should be done in a sec. There we go. Got it. I'm going to go ahead and run it. I do agree. Yay. Yes. Hid in the background. Found the icon at the bottom here. This should install in just a moment and should not require a reboot. Now, here we go. It's popping up the help page for it. I'm going to go ahead and just close out of this. Tell it close here. And then down in my system tray, I'm going to have a new icon that looks like I've got a test pattern on an old CRT computer or something here. And I'm going to click on that. Let's try double clicking. Okay, double click on that. And here is all of our utilities, all of our settings. We can enable and disable different ones here, and I think I might come back and explore some more options in these in later videos. But for now, like we said, we are going to be looking for our rename. It's going to be under this file management and then power rename. And it's on by default, so we don't need to do anything. And it says to get to it, we need to do Shift plus right click. Well, some of these utilities, you'll have either default or maybe you change it to have like special key combinations to bring something up. This one is just basically right click, but in Windows 11, which I've got on here anyway, well, right click isn't what right click used to be. So that's okay, that's okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and just close out of here. I just wanted to show you this. And I'm gonna head back over to a different directory where I've already got some backups going here. These are backups from some game cartridges, and in the process of doing that, the names on them have come up a little bit funky. They've got these numbers at the beginning of them that were probably meaningful for their original purposes, but maybe that's a little less convenient now. I could, for these 4 files, pretty easily just go get rid of that. But let's imagine I had more in the lines of like 50 or 100 or something files. It would be very annoying to go through one at a time and fix them up. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to Shift right click, which, hey, might be a win for you all the same. This looks more like the old school right click menu. And from here, I can go to Power Rename. Oh, there we go, Rename with Power Rename. Just to check, the other thing I could have done is right click and then go to Show More Options and then Rename with Power Rename. It's launched the utility here, and it's got a basically a checklist for me because, you know, maybe I got my 50, 100, whatever different device files in here, and maybe I want to uncheck some of them to not automatically rename those, maybe skip over some of those. But for my purposes, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to rename everything and just leave them all checked here. Now, we've got basically a search, basically a starting, and then we've got to replace with these 2 separate fields. The one at the top is going to be what we're going to have it look for, and then the one at the bottom is going to be what we're going to replace it with. So again, it might be as simple as that, like M- versus N-, different with hyphens that you want to swap out. Cool, super easy peasy, right? Maybe there's some character that you want to swap out, O's for zeros, I don't know, whatever, right? For our purposes, we're going to get a little bit fancy. We are going to use something called regex, or regular expressions. Now, this isn't going to become a whole regular expression class, but there's a thing built into this to use these regular expressions, which are effectively search criteria to let you match on stuff. So, up in the search for, well, actually just under the search for, we're going to click on this little box for Use Regular Expressions. And now a little I, like information, is popped up by that search box. I'm going to click on it. Boop. And check it out. Regex help. Thank you. And it's saying, okay, what do you want to look for? What do you want to match on? So this little up arrow, sometimes called caret. It's on my keyboard. It's the same as the Shift 6 there. That would be for looking at the beginning of some string, some letters, bunch of letters. Or $sign is for the end of the string. Do I want to have it look at the beginning or the end? Maybe match on any characters is a dot. Match for one or more if something is a plus. Okay, so here's what we want to do. Come look over here again. In mine, in my files, I've got a bunch of numbers at the beginning, and then a space, and then a dash, and another space, and I want to get rid of all that. Now, in some of these, there's also some letters in there, but it's the same letters every time, so I'm not too worried about that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it in 2 passes. I'll bet if I spent a little time, we could do it in 1, but I'm going to do it in 2 passes. First, I'm going to have it get rid of the numbers, the space, the dash, and the space. And then I'm going to run another one where it gets rid of that those 2 characters. Looks like it's a DS at the beginning. So numbers first, click on my little info thing here. And what I want to do is tell it to match on numbers. Now, I could be a little more careful and say numbers at the beginning, but for the moment, I'm just going to get rid of numbers. And, I'm going to say, here we go, dash little d, any digit from 0 to 9. And I'm just going to click on that. And then I'm going to say more than one of those. So come click on the little I again. And should be plus, there it is, matches on one or more of the preceding token. Yes, please. So some numbers, one or more of them. And then I'm going to have a space. And I'm going to have a dash and another space. But I can't just like hit the space bar here. That would confuse it. And so I'm going to match on this slash little s, any white space character. And then a dash. I got to make sure I get the correct one here, but I already checked ahead of time. For me, it's the same one as over here, like my minus. And then another white space. S. Okay, and so this should search for some number, a digit, 0 through 9. And then the plus means one or more of those. And then there should be a space and a hyphen and a space. So that's what it's looking for. And this should avoid, like if there was a number somewhere in the name of the rest of the thing, well, it probably doesn't have numbers in a space dash space, so it wouldn't match on that. Okay, so that's what we're searching for. And then what are we going to replace it with? I'm just not going to click in there. Nothing. I want to replace it with nothing. Okay, apply. Oh, hey look, all the numbers went away. Or just about all the numbers went away. But now there's no bunch of numbers and a space dash space in front of each of these. Now, some of them do still have this, in fact, I said DS before, this 3DS. So I'm going to run another one. Cancel out of here. And search for another thing. And it's just literally going to be search for 3DS. Now, that's probably going to take care of it. But it's possible that that set of characters could be somewhere else in here. So I want to have it look just at the beginning. Go back to my little help for regular expressions. And there was that up arrow, that caret, start of string. And so I'm going to go back to the beginning before my 3DS, and I'm going to put in my little caret symbol. I could have clicked on it, but I just hit Shift 6. Okay, and so now it's going to look at the beginning of these names, these strings, and then look for 3DS and replace it with nothing. And now it's noticing here, or pardon me, notice here, I didn't point it out before, it's showing me which one's going to affect, and it's telling me what it's going to look like. Yep, that looks better. Apply. Boom. And now I'm going to go ahead and close out of here. And check it out. Here's my directory. And I've cleaned it up. Now, it took a little longer because we were talking about it, right? But this could go really fast, and it would have been just as fast if it had been 100 files. All right, everybody. Congratulations, you got it. Quick recap. PowerToys, Microsoft PowerToys, is a useful set of Windows utilities that gives you more control of your system and has a lot of little tweaks that might come in handy. Thanks, everybody. This continues to be a blast. Like, subscribe, and hey, like we said before, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be watching. Maybe I can help answer any questions you have about this or other topics we've covered so far for our intro to networking. And maybe there's something that you'd like me to take a look at. See you next time, everybody.